Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameShop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games. Hi, I'm Michael. Take a seat and I'll tell you about Small World by Days of Wonder. A light area control game where you're taking control of fantasy races and monsters in order to conquer the world. Whoever can do this best and get the most points wins. The way this all works is you start off by choosing a race. That race will give you a certain number of tokens. These tokens you then use to take over areas. Each area requires 2 tokens plus 1 token per token already there. Nice and simple, a bit of maths involved, but it's very small maths. As the game progresses, you take over areas. Once you've used up your tokens, there isn't really much else for you to do, so you go into decline. Going into decline means that you flip over your tokens, you're no longer using that race, but you instead take over the role of a new race on your next turn and once again start flooding the world. And it is a very small world. And one thing that is very good about this is that it has different maps for the different number of players to ensure that the world is a small world, but not too small and not too large. What this means is that you are always going to be ending up in conflict with each other, but never in a situation where you are just stuck and unable to move and it's just eliminated, wiped out. It ebbs and flows, and that's what I love about this game. The ebb and flow, the nature of that whole decline and coming back in. The game is an ebb and flow. It's a tug of war between the players, especially at 2 players. But you do find this as well with the others. And it all becomes a game about strategizing, not just where you're going to go, which areas you're going to try and take over, but trying to anticipate what players are going to go for next with regards to the races and powers, when it's best to go into decline, when it's worth giving up points in order to go for a further away race and power. And yeah, this means that this game has tons of choice. In fact, there's very little randomness in this game. The only randomness there is with this reinforcement die, which is affectionately known in our house as the dice of blanks, because 3 of the sides are blank. And for some reason, more often than not, it comes up blank. But at the end of your turn, for your last conquest, you're able to roll this dice and potentially be able to take over somewhere that you didn't have enough tokens to do. This amount of luck is a nice element. It means that there's an element of, and can I do it? But it doesn't really make a big change to the game. It's unlikely that one player will keep doing it and other players won't. And so yeah, this is a light game in that it's easy to learn, easy to teach, but it isn't light with regards to the strategy. There is plenty of strategy there, but the choices tend to be quite easy to make, meaning this is an easy game for anyone to play, but still engaging enough for people who have been playing games for a long time and playing a lot of games to still enjoy this game. That's why I think this is an absolutely fantastic game. It's a game that pretty much anyone can play, and it takes a genre of game I really enjoy, the whole area control. And historically, if you wanted to play something like that, or you come from mainstream gaming, it would be Risk. And Risk has several problems. One is the level of randomness. Every time you want to conquer somewhere, it's roll dice. This does not have that. It's all determined, meaning your choices are more important than the luck of the dice. Whereas Risk, if you just get lucky on the dice, you can do anything you want. The other thing is, Risk goes on forever. This has a finite length. You feel like you're making progress. With that whole ebb and flow, you rush the board, you make progress, you feel good. Oh, you have a setback, you come back. Whereas Risk, you just spend forever just being crushed down or being the one crushing down and being like, why won't you just die? There's none of that in this. The fixed round length is a fantastic aspect of this. It means you always know roughly how long a game this is going to be. And I think that's superb as well. Overall, I think this is a lovely game. I think component-wise, the components are all really good. Card, the dice is good, everything is good. The tray for the races is a little frustrating with the way they slide around at times, but very useful for just being able to pass around the table nice and easy when people do choose their new race. Talking about inserts though, the main insert is a bit of a pain. Mostly good, except for on the coins, they kind of just fall into a bit of a pile of mess. Another good thing component-wise is it has a really helpful player aid. Firstly, giving you all the information. You can pretty much learn the game from this player aid, giving you all the information you need to play so you can refresh your memory on exactly how your turn works, etc. And then also all the powers. Now, there is more detail than this available in the rulebook, but it gives you enough to kind of refresh your memory and just go, oh, which one's that again? Oh, right, yeah, it's the one that works like that. Absolutely great. Days of Wonder do fantastic games, and this is not an exception. I love Small World by Days of Wonder. I do hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel as well as subscribing and sharing. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.